What's up, yo? It's your boy Showtime Doctor. I've taken this 3 times because I'm trying to pronounce her name right. Rawiyah. Yeah. Never say it again. Anyways, this gonna be your character showcase and review of her skills. And we have here once again, Celian's hooked us up with a build guide. So follow those circles on initially building this character. She has knockback, her range is really huge. And if you get her a particular item, which I will show you later, actually increases her effective range, her knockback range, which is pretty crazy. Gear recommendations towards the bottom there. I did manage to get the hammer that's on the extreme right, so I will show you guys that one. First of all, here's mine. We got her to rank 6. And I did like it said on the guide. So this one, co-attack for each ally within a 2 square radius. Her attack is increased by 5 up to 15%. So 3 characters near her within 2 tiles gonna hit harder for you. Usually she needs to be with other characters, including a tank, because she is just a bit squishy in the game. And her other major weakness early is she needs more mobility. There are buffs and items you can use to mitigate that, but I would love to have her moving at least 1, if not 2 more squares per turn, but we'll get into that. Instant, this is a recovery. So recover 60% of lost HP in games tipsy. Instant means that you can cast it and you're not going to lose your turn. Tipsy, her crit is increased by 30 and it decreases her damage taken by 10. Wonderful. She has a passive that gives her that as well sometimes. Just like a combat heal, so you don't have to run a potion or anything on her. So screw off. Sometimes when she's hit, she'll take a drink and then she'll go ahead and kick the opponent and it will knock them 2 tiles away. But she strikes back, hits pretty hard, about 70% of the damage, and then gives her a buff again. Wonderful, does it once around. And that's pretty much all the skills we were able to get to in the closed beta, so that's all I can tell you solidly for sure. Now, her passive, I actually managed to get 2 of her, I'll explain. I pulled her once on a banner. So I actually got her 2-star in a week, which is pretty remarkable. But at the start, damage by 8, start of turn or during a strike back, 50% chance to recover 30% of the character's lost HP and gain tipsy. So can happen, might not happen whenever they get hit once around. Eventually, it'll be 80% chance and increased damage 25%, and the recovery goes up a little bit too, to 40%. And can be triggered twice around at that point, so he's going to be a little counter machine. Her auto attack is amazing. It will do a 2-tile knockback just by itself. Most people, they got to use skills to get a 2-tile knockback. She just does it herself, just passively, which is awesome. It's always available no matter your energy situation. If you're silenced, whatever, that's always available for you. Now, once again, I teased you guys about the hammer, right? So when charging, 5% more damage. She doesn't really have charge skills, but if the target has a lower HP than the character it's knocked back, pushes them by 1 more tile, so effectively a 3-tile radius if you can knock back someone that has lower health than you. And then I also chose to give her something that gives her additional move when not using an active skill, which often happens first turn because her mobility. Just, in my opinion, you just really got to work on her mobility because she's a monster if she can move around. But she has problems initially even keeping up with the group. Gale Breach? This one's an interesting skill. So what it'll do is she can use it to get closer to a unit, and then it's instant, so it does a little bit of damage. If the character has tipsy, it blocks their reaction skills, so they can't counter, can't taunt, none of that. And then this switches to Tropical Cyclone, which is a super hard nuke that does so much damage. And if you have tipsy and buffs and everything on her, it hits hella hard. I've seen this hit for like 2200 3 or 4 days in. Just crazy, crazy. It does more depending on how many debuffs are on the target as well. So if you have a good debuffer to run her with some range, that can be really awesome. 140 up to 190%, not to mention tipsy, not to mention buffs you can put on her reactively. And just insane. Once you use it, it's going to use a fair 1 energy, but once you use it, it's gone. You got to set it up again. So that's her energy cycle. So having her with a little bit of energy regen actually helps a lot too. And then occasionally, yeah, she'll drink at the beginning of her turn, and then it'll give her these buffs. I forgot to mention that earlier. Let's go ahead. We'll take her for a spin.
Rise from your grave.
Now, keep in mind with the knockback abilities, you can actually use that on barrels, and you can knock people into each other. You can knock them off cliffs. All right, so 50% chance she didn't drink there. And like you see what I say about her mobility, if she had one more square, she could potentially get close enough to affect something. 2 more squares, she could definitely affect something, but it's just the way of the world. So I'm gonna take her up. She can once again use this to get closer, but an enemy has to be there. So would I 2 more squares? Boom, boom. I can use that skill and I can get in on this guy, but I can't. Just the way of the world right now. So we'll stand her by. She's a great anti-tank unit. So in this case, yeah, if I had that one movement again, I could get here, I could get closer to this guy, and I could knock him off before he does his charge thing. But unfortunately, I can't. So what I'm going to show you, how you can get in on somebody. You can go from up to 3 squares away, as it shows you here. Instant. That's there. Now you can choose if you want. This is instant too, so I just want to get tipsy. And now it's going to set up that really hard hit that I was going to... Bam. Little AoE damage. So like I said, squishy, there's screw off. And that's pretty much your showcase for her, so... See you in the next one.